Steve knows how to get home from the baseball field. Just go along Peterson Avenue to the church and turn left. When everything is familiar, it's easy to find your way. This morning, Steve and his dad are going camping to a place they've never been before. How do you go from one place to another if you don't know how to get there? Well, one way is to ask for directions. To get to the campsite, Steve and his dad must go east. East is the name of one of the directions. Perhaps you know the names of some of the other directions. But now at their campsite, there aren't any signs. Can you find directions by yourself? There's something that may help, a weather vane. It shows north, west, south, and east. These are the 4 directions. They will help you find your way, even in new places. You can find directions in many different ways. One way is to use the sun. Later this evening, the sun will set over there, toward the west. If you know where the sun sets, you know where west is. Steve's dad knows that tomorrow morning the sun will come up from there, in the opposite direction, toward the east. If you know where the sun rises, you know where east is. East and west are opposite directions. Now, at noon, when the sun is at its highest point in the sky, shadows are the shortest. Steve's shadow points north. Where he is now, it points toward that tall tree. At night, even without shadows, you can still find north. How? The stars. There are so many stars. Which ones help to find directions? This group, the Big Dipper. If we imagine lines that connect these 7 stars, it does look like a dipper. The 2 stars on the side of the cup point toward the North Star. Now you know which direction is north at night, toward the North Star. The North Star shows that north is in that direction. It's the same direction Steve found yesterday at noon with his shadow. If you know north, you can find all the other directions. Remember the 4 directions on the weather vane? North is opposite south. West is opposite east. If you stand facing north and raise your right arm, it points east. And now, in the morning, the sun is coming up there in the east. When you raise your left arm, it points toward the opposite direction, west. And behind you, opposite north, is south. When you know one of these 4 directions, you can find all of the others. This afternoon, it's cloudy, so you can't use the sun to find north. How can you find directions now? With this. A compass. How does the compass work? Well, the needle is a magnet. The compass needle always points north, in that direction from the campsite. Usually, the north-pointing end of the needle is painted a special color. To use the compass, you just turn it until N, north, is right above the needle. The compass looks like the circle drawing Steve's dad made this morning, doesn't it? There's N, north. On the right side is east. Down here is south, and over here on the left side is west. Now, both the needle and N point toward north. All of the other directions on the compass are true when the compass is lined up with north. It's time for Steve and his dad to leave the campsite. To get back to the city, they use a map Dad made for Steve. Here's the campsite, the road, the highway, and the baseball field back in the city. Here's the church, and on this street is his house. Steve's compass had directions like this. North is here, east is toward the right, south is toward the bottom, and west is toward the left. They pull off the road to check directions. Which way should they turn to get back to the city? Well, first, they have to know what direction they're going now. They can't use the compass in the car, though. The car is made of steel and will affect the compass needle. There, this is far enough. The compass needle points north. Line up the compass with north. They are traveling in the direction the needle points, north. Now they can use the map. There's north. Turn the map until north is lined up with north on the compass. There. The city is west of the corner they're on, so they must turn left. It's easy to go from one place to another when you know directions. Back in the city, Steve and his dad have been driving on East Peterson Avenue. Across the street is West Peterson Avenue. The street they're crossing divides the city into the east side and the west side. Street signs tell you what part of the city you are in. Maps can tell you more. Tonight, Steve and his dad are looking at some maps. Here's the United States. Canada is north of us. South of us is Mexico. This is the East Coast, and here's the West Coast. Knowing the directions helps you understand and use maps. Yesterday, Steve learned a lot about directions. He found that north, east, south, and west are directions, and that they help you to get from one place to another. Here in the city, too, you can also find directions using the sun. Steve knows that in the morning, the sun rises from the east. And he knows that at night, it sets toward the west. At noon, shadows point north. Facing north, toward your left is west, toward your right is east, behind you, opposite north, is south. The church up there is north of Steve. He lives on North Lincoln Avenue, on the north side of the city. Today, Steve is going down West Peterson Avenue to play baseball again. He's going to have to remember directions because he's not playing here in his neighborhood, but at another field. His dad told him how to get there. Just walk west 4 blocks on Peterson Avenue, turn north, and walk 2 more blocks. It's easy to go from one place to another when you know north, south, east, and west.